How do we know if we really are meeting client needs?
Based on how they receive services. One, if especially we work at the community and we work at the facility. So if more clients are coming to the facility to seek services, and in our case, ANC services, then we are meeting their needs.
Getting to hear what people talk about at the community.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the See It, Do It podcast series. See It means to see linked data, and Do It means act on the data.
Let's make every contact count.
Core concepts and quality improvement.
Doing things differently.
Mentoring, support, supervision, and coaching.
Client perspective.
Data quality, digitization, and research.
We are See It, Do It. Welcome to the See It, Do It podcast series. My name is Vicky Doyle and I'm a Quality Improvement Advisor to the See It, Do It programme. Today we're going to be talking about the importance of the client perspective when looking at the quality of services we deliver. I'm joined today by my two esteemed guests. I'm going to ask you both to introduce yourselves. So Jared.
Thank you so much, Vicky. My name is Jared. I work for LVCTF and See It, Do It program. Thank you.
Mandela.
And I'm Mandela Guche. I also work at LVCT Health. I support See It, Do It program under the intervention wing. Thank you.
And these guys have both been very humble. They are our QI coaches, trainers, and mentors. And they're the ones who are really supporting some of the amazing work improvement teams we have in Homer Bay. Now, as normal, I like to start with a provocation in our podcast. So today I want to ask you, if we don't consider the client perspective, how do we know if we are meeting client needs? So, my first question, and I'm going to go to you first, Mandela, is how do we know if we really are meeting client needs?
Thank you for this question. From my perspective, I think how we can know if we're meeting clients' needs is based on how they receive services. One, if especially we work at the community and we work at the facility. So if more clients are coming to the facility to seek services, and in our case, ANC services, then we are meeting their needs. If there's more positive feedback from the community in terms of how the CHPs deal with them, respond to them, then again, you can know that you're meeting their needs. Maybe Jared could add one or two.
Thank you, Mandela. Yeah, in addition to what Mandela said, we can know if we are meeting their needs from getting to hear what people talk about at the community. What are they saying in regards to this particular services that they are receiving, ANC services? What are they saying? What are the kind of gossips that are going on in regards to these particular services and so on? Thank you.
And so to add, sorry to cut you, so to add is how are they receptive towards the services that the facility or the community CHPs give them? Because another way to note that is sometimes if, you tell them to seek ANC services and they don't do, you realize there's no mutual relationship and they are not confident with whatever services that you give.
Yeah. And I think just sort of going back on what you said about gossip, we know that if people have a bad experience, that gets shared time and time again and can then have a real impact across the whole community. Yeah. And that's when we start seeing facilities, people bypassing facilities, and we really don't want to get into that position. So maybe the next question, I know that on the See It, Do It programme, you've been using quite innovative tools to try and get a concrete measure of client experience of the services we provide. So, Jared, I'm going to ask you this time. Can you talk us through a little bit more about the methods that you've been using on the programme?
Thank you, Vicky. The methods that we have been using to check on this is we are actually measuring their experiences. Are they receiving the services that they need to receive? For example, when they visit ANC. We are these people receiving these particular services at the facility and also at the community level. When the CHPs visit them, are they doing what they are supposed to do? That is what we do actually. Our tools, as you have said, are very simple. So we are only seeking to know whether they receive or not. The questions that are aligned are very simple and so much aligned to the community that they don't need to think a lot. We just measure if actually their experiences, if they received or if they don't receive.
So we're asking them simple questions like, did you get a MUAC measurement? And we're simply asking them to answer yes or no. So we're not asking them to make a judgment about how good or how poor that service was, but simply yes or no.
Yeah, and just to chip in on the question that you asked, originally we've had, suggestion boxes where they put these opinions or whatever conversations that the community people have. But in LVCT Health and our community health service delivery, we thought it wise that it's important to know what actually happens at the household level. So we developed a tool called Community Follow-up Tool that really shows the experience between the CHP and the client at the community level. So that's that tool that we actually use. And again, we have client exit tools. Just Jared's mentioned that they're simple. So these tools for us really show what happens in the household level instead of just the general suggestions and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important point. Trying to capture what actually happens is very difficult. And probably the most effective way of doing that is through these simple tools where you're actually asking our clients to report on what happened in those circumstances. So I suppose another question then is, how confident are we in that data? And certainly when we're trying to collect that data, we do know that if a health provider directly asks people are very the clients are very likely to say what they think the provider wants them to hear. So who is collecting the data? And then how often should it be collected?
So for us at LVCT, we work with work improvement teams. So work improvement teams our work improvement teams are integrated. So the work improvement teams normally select a community representative, and we choose community representatives to avoid bias. Just like you said, at the facility, they will most likely be biased towards what the facility or the CHP wants to hear. So we select a community member. She or he has to be someone who is well known in the community, but they have to have certain qualities that really meet the standards of them to go collect this particular data. One being, they have to be, eloquent, they understand the language in the community, and then maybe if the tool is in English, they can translate it to the local language. And it's somebody that is also respected in the community. You can't just select anyone, because they're going to go to the households, and the households are also randomly selected. So you want someone who is really known, who is accepted, and who is, educated enough to really understand how to ask these particular questions. Yeah.
So Jared, is it easy to find these trusted people in the community?
Yeah, it is easy to find them in the community. Just as Mandela said, they are selected by the community members. And also to add on what he has said, in addition to your question, is this data should be collected routinely. It is not being done once. They can choose to collect it after every 3 months, 6 months, or 11 or 12 months, depending on what they are measuring at that particular moment. So these people are readily available at the community, and actually the community members themselves knows them, and they can be able to select them easily without any difficulties.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone loves collecting the data. That's fun. But then what do we do with that data once we have it? How can we use this data, which is coming directly from the community, from clients? This is very valuable data. So how can we use this in a way that's going to be meaningful?
Before Mandela comes in, I say we use this data together with data that is collected routinely at the facility level to be able to make informed decisions. This data can be used to measure, as we have said, the experiences of these people at the community or at the facility level, and it can be used also to improve quality of services that are being given at the community and also at the facility level. Mandela.
Thank you, Jared. So I'll go back to where our tools look like. They're very simple. And what we didn't say is our tools can also be easily summarized. So that summarized tool is easily analyzed, and it analyzed integratedly. So the facility team and the community team analyze it together. They relate it with other tools that they have at the facility level, say antenatal register, that is MOH45. So once you analyze this data, you can really understand areas in which you have probably QI problems, and then you sit down and analyze them to develop QI circles that can really improve service delivery at the community or at the facility level.
And with this community data or client data, is it possible to see trends in time? Improvements over time?
Yeah, it is very possible to know trends in community data. One, in terms of the services they receive. For example, I'll take a typical question, say IFAS. How many mothers, say the first time we ask this question, you realize there are certain mothers that don't receive these particular services. But then over time, with QI activities or interventions, probably see high increased number of antenatal mothers receiving this.
So you can see you're having an impact then.
Yes. True.
Okay.
Yeah, to add on what Mandela said is actually you can see trends not only from the community data, but you can also use other data from the facility like ANC and these other to measure how these trends are going. You can that is where we said it's used integratedly from the ones from the community and the facility level. If you use them together, it's very easy to see the trends than if you use one type of data only.
Okay, so basically we're saying it's really important to collect this data, but we should also compare it with our other routine data, and that gives us a more complete picture of quality. But if we leave out client quality, then there's a danger we're not seeing the whole picture. Yeah. So let's end this podcast. I want your 3 key messages to give to our podcast listeners. So, Mandela, what's the first one?
I will go with collecting client feedback is a very integral part of a QI journey. So that will be the first one.
Jared.
Okay, mine, the first word, which is the second one in this case, is if we don't collect client feedback, we have an incomplete picture of quality because you will not be able to know from which source because clients are the focus. So you have to make sure that you collect their feedback to know, to measure quality.
And Mandela, the last message?
The last message will be very simple. It's important to measure client feedback.
Thank you very much, esteemed guests. And I hope for our listeners, you can really get the value of incorporating the client perspective into how you go about assessing and improving quality. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vicky.
Let us do it now. No.